and welcome everyone to episode 6 of the Last of Spoilercast. I am Mitch, as always. You can follow me in the description for the 692 stuff with the link for you. And of course, I'm joined by Sean.
And you can follow me at _12 on Instagram. I'm gonna get a linking page soon now, so I want to.
I just tried breezing through that. It's like, yeah, link tree, yeah. I forget I have it. Woo, it's
it cuts your intro time by half, you know.
It does. I haven't got to list off every single one because there's too many.
And you end up misspeaking some of them too.
Yeah. Check out the link tree because it's got the Hive, my Hive account that everyone was panicking about, and I was like, I'm gonna join a Hive just in case, and then never took off. No. Never took off. It's like, oh.
Is that like a Marvel supervillain team? You know, like the Hive.
I say Hive's like a Spider-Man character, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't remember now.
I heard about Hive, but I never.
Yeah. It's a bit like Spiders, man. It's just made up of spiders. There's some like weird stuff in comics.
Yeah, the 70s was a weird place, man. The 70s is weird.
I almost said a bad no word for YouTube, so I just remember.
I'm controlling myself right now. I've been told the only reason I've been doing it more now is like the eldest had started saying the F.
He's in the copying stage. Lovely stuff.
So, and he did it at the worst possible time when me and my wife were having a disagreement, and that came out, and like I was like, darn it.
I was gonna say don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm using a shock collar to keep me in line, so.
Yeah. So it doesn't help. I just did literally about half an hour ago. Came from doing Jared's Quantum Mania review, and of course, math like a sailor on that boy. I'm like, I can't say anything. It's just like, don't say anything. So
don't start it, man.
Yeah, so I need to get it out of my system. Hopefully, it's all out of my system. But anyway, episode 6. I enjoyed it.
Continuing the streak of being good, good TV.
I say this was like a lull episode, but it was better than the other lull we had. Was it episode 4? Yeah, before Sam and Henry. Yeah.
I mean,
it wasn't really much of a lull because it was quite a big episode, but
I mean, it sets up. I would say an interesting change in dynamic between the characters.
Well, that's one way to put it. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the breaking point for Joel, where he's now becoming a little bit more loose with Ellie, and like he's being more of a fatherly figure. He starts that journey of being like the surrogate father for her.
Yeah, but he's got a bit of like resentment / panic about that.
Yeah,
because he starts having the panic attacks, and it's like, he's getting worried. He knows he's getting too close. He doesn't want it.
But I think towards the end of the episode, I don't want to skip too far, but I think he gets by the conversations and the dynamic they had at the end of the episode. I think that completely, I don't know, but completely goes away. But he starts to be a little bit more, I don't know, I mean, a little bit more. He kind of restrain, he before he was very distant, and like
cold, he's definitely like opening up and warming up to where he is.
That's the word. Could not think of the way to say. And I was like, this is gonna be really embarrassing because it's like such an easy word to remember because I use it.
They're always the ones. They're always the ones you forget.
Oh, this is what happens when you try to say something clever and you're not really on that level. Start losing your vocabularies.
Your brain slightly wanders and then you get stuck and you're like, oh no.
Well,
how do I
my brain's just telling me, he's like, you're not that guy. You're not that guy. You don't tell me that guy. You're gonna look like a fool.
We don't form full sentences. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
you're not that guy.
2-sentence guys, total tops max. But I think the lull. As you say, this is like that lull, like rest before the storm type episode.
Yeah. Though it ends on the storm. It doesn't end. Which, I'll be honest, I was surprised that, because this is probably the most they've changed from the entire game, right? This entire bit is definitely, they ran through this university section. Because I'm struggling to remember. I can't remember, because it's been a while. It's a specific shot that I've been waiting for, and I thought it, from memory, that it happened here because there's the monkeys.
Yeah.
But I now can't remember if it actually happens later on. But I got a distinct memory of it happening around the same time, and I'm not sure if the show's gaslit me or I'm gaslighting myself. But
it might be.
It's like, are we skipping over it? Like, have I missed it? What's going on? It's like, does it happen later? Does it happen now? I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, maybe it's I think it's a product of like it's going to be a 2-season type show, so we got to get through all this stuff and maybe.
Well, at least 2 seasons. They could very well stretch out the second part to 2 seasons.
I don't like that stuff. I don't like it. I think that's just I do not like when they split things up that doesn't necessarily need to be split up. It's like, especially now that it's like, what, these are 9-episode shows or 8-episode shows. How dare you?
Yeah, but you're adapting a lot of content, right? It's like, I think the Lord of the Rings movies are a perfect trilogy. You could have easily made like 6. You could have made each one 2 movies long easily.
Yeah.
The Hobbit should have been a one and done. Making that should have been whack. But the other ones you probably could have stretched out a fair bit. Same with Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter, you could have made a couple of those movies 2-parters, but
yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it when they split things up. Just give me the full version of this story. Not make me wait 2 years or a year to get the second part of the story.
It's going to be 2 years. It's going to be like 2 years.
Would be very disappointing because I don't know. I'm in the vein that just get it all out there. They don't stretch it out to 3 seasons. Just get it all out there.
But this is the hard part of adapting video games, right? Because they are so long.
Especially video games that only have 2 parts, and the third part is like way off, far off to get.
Because it's like, Last of Us Part 2 is longer than the first one. I think it's like 30 hours long or something like that. And that's if you're running through it. Whereas The Last of Us, you could probably still get like 20 hours out of it, but you're still condensing. Sure, a lot of that is like gameplay and video game stuff, but you're still making. A lot of shiv making. He has yet to make a shiv. What's going on?
I'm happy to hear that because
no shiv. He's not walking around with like a bit of pipe to go with the guns. It's like, what are you doing?
They're waiting for the last episode for him to.
Oh, I'm waiting for this. It's going to be like a shiv. If there's no shiv in this entire series, then it's not The Last of Us. Like, what are you doing? Like it aims at to condense all take out 5 hours for gameplay nonsense, right? Just like casually walking around. That's like 15 hours you got to condense into 9. Like you could quite easily. That's nearly 2 seasons worth if you're doing an hour for each bit. Like, that's a lot of content, bro.
And this is why like I always like what I've been saying about condensing the story and changing things. You can't adapt everything, and when you start adapting everything, you start making the same mistakes that other video game movies have made. Where like they like. I think what
look at the Uncharted movie, right? That Uncharted movie. Not that I haven't played them. I've watched the Uncharted games you played, but
I watched it. I don't have time.
A lot of the. To be fair, I enjoyed the movie. Right? It's not good, but it's just done fun.
It's generic action movie.
Yeah,
that's what
the worst part's Mark Wahlberg. Like that guy can
unanimously
take a long walk off a short pier for like a.
He can suck the air out of a movie pretty well.
I wondered what you were gonna say, then I was like, no, that's an edit. That's an edit. The swerve.
No.
It's it's. You don't want to cram literally everything in, but it's.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because I was under the impression I came into this expecting 2 seasons for the first one. I was like, "There's no way they do this in 1 season." Lo and behold, they're pulling it off somehow.
Well, I you know what I think is like when you're adapting stuff like this, you have to take out the the slow parts and the bad stuff, like the shiv making, like like stuff that's gonna take up, like, it may stretch out the series, but in a detriment, in a way, because like you want a nice, tight, condensed story,
Yeah, but just give me like a 5-minute scene of him making a shiv. That's all I ask for.
It's
I
coming.
just want to see one shiv. So I know we're at the point in the game now where you don't need shivs, right? You've made all the shivs you're ever going to need in your life to last you like the entire franchise's history. Exactly, like and then you also got the guns, you got the ammo at this point, and like you don't need it. It's all relying on that. Just make a shiv. Just make a shiv.
The only thing
pick up a pipe. That's fine.
The only thing I never understood is like, why did he give up the M16 at the very beginning of the season for a single shot, gun, and like, I was like, man, keep them both. You need them both, right? Especially in this time, keep them both.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You've got to build the tension.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this episode was a nice little, break from the intensity that was, like, those last 2 episodes were pretty intense,
Yeah, it's nice to have that like respite
kind of break.
It's just like, no one's gonna die. Everyone, I would say alive and happy. It's very much not the case, but everyone's alive.
Yeah,
maybe. Who knows? Who knows if Joel lives next week?
Yeah, you never know, man. Like, I think it would be the right call to do it. I think this is because he's had a complete arc almost, right? He's gone from, like, the father.
I'd very much argue not quite.
Not quite.
Very much argue not quite. Yeah.
I think by the end of the season, if they've done it right, that he's got a complete arc.
Oh, by the end, he'll definitely have a complete arc. Yeah.
Yeah. So
as of right now, yeah, no.
I love the whole. I love how the community in that. I don't. What was
the communisms? It's like, communists. It's like, what? This is why Diego Luna needs more stuff. His face then was so good. It's just like, oh my god, I'm a communist. What's going on? Okay. Maybe it's not so bad after all. Maybe America's been lying to the world about communism. Wow, who'd have thought?
Yeah,
not to get political.
We're the imperialistic, bastards. Socialism sucks. Communism, 2 thumbs up. But
revolution, comrades. We can do it. We can do it.
But I love the whole, like, I love the fact that, like, in my mind, when I think that these two are gonna get together finally, that they're gonna be like in loving embraces, hugging each other. But no, like there's
a lot of resentment.
Yeah, I mean, like, it feels like they've been in this world for so long that, like, that's how a normal person would react to, everything that's gone through. And like, it gives you that, like, that feeling, because, like, in some movies and show, it's always this happy moment when finally the 2 brothers get together. It's like, but no, like, there's some stuff between them that they need to work out, man.
So he says he's not judging Joel. He clearly is judging Joel for what Joel's done in the past. Not that Tommy's squeaky clean either, but
I mean, let's face it. What was he doing before, the apocalypse? Like when you join a gang like the U.S. Army, man, you're doing some like unscrupulous things most times, And
good word, unscrupulous, very good word.
I'm trying, My wife got me.
I always appreciate words you don't hear very often, and then but it's just like, oh, that's a good word. Ooh.
it's the present of word of the day, toilet paper. So,
I mean, hey, if it is your word of the day, well done. You got it in. I appreciate it.
I tried to
10 out of 10.
Broaden my mind and my vocabularies. Me not dumb, so
me speak good.
But I love the whole, like, these episodes sometimes get people, like, I don't want to say negatively talking, but they always, like these are the episodes that people always kind of come down more on because of like the slow pace. Like everything up to this point was really high paced and like intense, and then they have these like little bit of peaks and valleys that people.
The irony that I thought this episode was really fast paced, but that's part of that's because they took a lot of stuff out. Like there was a whole bit where I think the four of them go like outside the walls. They do something and it ends up where Ellie's with Tommy and Joel's with Maria, the wife. Yeah. So like they get a little bit alone time together, like the connection, and they all start relating to each one and whatnot. Whereas this, we don't get that, which is unfortunate because I think that's a really you could have worked that sort of a moment in. Maybe it's coming. I don't know. Like they could quite easily just move stuff about and do it that way, but
it says Diego Luna's in 5 episodes of the 8, right? I think.
Yeah, so he'll be in every one from now on, I imagine.
Yeah. So that means they would have to go back to the compound, and maybe you get those
Jackson.
Yeah, I love that whole, like, that's such a smart thing to do too, right? Like.
Apparently, it's a real place as well. Like that wasn't actually a set. That's actually a little village town. The only thing they did was build the gate at the front of it.
It's Calgary.
That's what I've heard anyway.
So it doesn't surprise me too much in the wilderness like that. Like
there's a lot of just so I don't forget it. There's a lot of stuff in that, like when they're walking through and everything. Like while you're spending time in Jackson, there's a lot of stuff that's setting up for part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Well, like
I won't spoil it, but there's a lot of stuff in there.
The cinematography, I think, was great, man. Watching that episode kind of reminded me how great the cinematography was for Prey. Like with the mountain.
Yeah, because it's the same mountain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they're actually on the other side of the mountain from Prey. Yeah. She runs across the field, and I'm like, I know that mountain.
I see you. Such a pretty mountain, man. That's what it really like. The cinematography in this episode, like that's the benefit of like not, filming on a screen on the 360 green screen.
True.
Beautiful, cityscapes and stuff like that. It was such a gorgeous shot. Some of the especially with the very beginning with them riding into Jackson, blew me away. It was it just shows how much people behind the scenes care about the episodes and the show, in general, because that could have easily been on a set somewhere, nobody would have known.
I mean, I'll be honest, I thought it was a set. I would have put money in it being a set, because why wouldn't it have been a set? The fact that it's actually a location that is perfect for Jackson, cool, I'm down with that.
That's such a a smart thing to do, you're allocating a lot of money from the budget to do that, but when people watch it, that's what they talk about, wow, this is such a good, and then they start lumping that praise onto the show itself, So I mean, up to this point, I don't think there's very little cons about watching the show. There's little nitpicks here and there, but that's to be expected. But
this is the episode I'm gonna have the most nitpicky things to say, because it does deviate the most, and I don't necessarily think for the better, because I enjoyed what they've done and what they presented and how it was all handled and all that, but they missed out what I would say is key points, and some context is different.
Do you think that they can move it?
No, they can't. They can move the Tommy, Joel, Maria, and Ellie bit around, right? That's fine. But the university, you're there for so long in the game, right? And you're walking around because it's all empty, right? And, there's the scene with the monkey, that was straight from it, but in this, it's look, they've moved. Oh look, they've all gone here. You don't get that in the game. You have this moment of, well, where the hell do we go now?
Yeah,
there's that realization of we've just come all this way. They've left. Joel's left Tommy again to travel for 5 days to get to this place, and for nothing. It's I've come all this way for literally crap all. And they don't do that here. Here it's like, oh, cool, they're in Salt Lake City. Let's go.
Yeah,
And I would have liked that moment of everything, but it's
sacrificial lambs, man. You know, like it's just
of all the moments to sacrifice, it's that bit because this, you know, this show has been going like they get to a point, cool, we find out we have to go here, cool, we find out we have to go here now, and then we have to go here, and we find out we've got to go here. Like it's nothing's really discovered; it's all told to them.
Yeah.
Which that's probably the only real nitpick I have with the show. But outside of that, it's fantastic, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't speak high enough about Pedro Pascal. I'm like,
no.
I mean, this is like, if I had to like condense like his acting skills to one show, I think it would be this. I mean, yeah, I say that with being like Mandalorian being readily available to watch, you know, but like there's something about him, like you can look in his eyes and believe that this guy is like feeling these feelings and like these pain is in his eyes, you know, like maybe it's because of the makeup, that combination of makeup and acting, but like it looks like he's been through some, you know, stuff, you know, and like I don't think there's not a lot of actors that can really sell that well. You know,
no, and I go so far to say is like this is the definitive Joel.
Yeah, and
like Joel from the game is one thing. I find it weird now looking at Joel from the game and not seeing Pascal's face.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and kind of retrofit that.
Oh, there's no chance. No. Well, I mean, maybe they did it with Spider-Man, I suppose, didn't they? But
I'm sure the fans would have a problem with that. I'm sure
there would be absolute uproar because then they're going to sell it to you again, right? Like, they've been pumping out those games a lot. I'm surprised there's not a PS5 remaster yet. But
I mean, like, considering that, I mean, my hobby is toy collecting. And to think that they have no problems pumping out the same figure with just fractional changes, you know, that, I mean, them doing something like that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but that's so much easier to do, right?
Yeah.
Like making you can keep the body and make a new sculpt. Like the game development side, that's a lot of work.
I think there will be a lot of yeah. I don't know.
Especially when I would not be surprised that with how popular the show is, Naughty Dog are scrambling for a part 3.
Yeah.
They want to get a part 3 out, then that's why they're going to stretch part 2 over 2 seasons, give you like 4 years to make the 3rd game, get it out, and then you can start making season 4, and it'd be The Last of Us part 3, and have it end on like a 5th season. It's exactly the timeline we're living in. It's going to happen.
That's unfortunate.
Mark my word. It might be unfortunate, but at the same time, there's an opportunity here, right, to filling a gap, because there's like a 5-year gap between part 1 and part 2, right? You have a massive period there where I haven't finished part 2, so I can't really say. I don't think you necessarily learn a lot in that time or what happened in that time period. You can add in a lot of stuff that could possibly help out a massive plot point at the start of that game. And then like have that be half a season, then you can end season 2 on the specific thing. People would hate the idea of that, and I get why. And then season 3 is the rest of part 2. Like you can do it that way.
I mean, look, as much as that sounds appealing, I think I love when show creators have a specific plan and they execute that plan without adding supplemental stuff. Just tell this. I love a good 3-season type show where it's just like a definitive beginning, a definitive end. You know, like no add-ons, no nothing. You know, that's just me.
I mean, even if you don't do it that way, right? There's DLC and there is a comic for this franchise, so you can fill things up. Admittedly, the DLC is not long. Right, I don't know if you could necessarily do it because it is also a prequel, but
I mean, you can do it, right? But I think, and I mean, I'm not trying not to be the bummer of a party pooper or anything like that. But it's like once you start doing stuff like that, things start getting compromised, and then
Oh yeah,
you start
100%.
rushing to get this out, and then that's when things. That's how shows really go from really great to really disappointing. Because it's like everything's being rushed because something is successful. It's like sometimes like shows just need to get to the point, or
Yeah.
movies or whatever, like just.
I mean, I
give me
totally agree
the
with you.
best.
I'm just throwing
Yeah,
out
no, no,
the
yeah.
idea of I
I'm
absolutely
sure.
not only see
I'm
it's
sure.
happening, I can feel it's happening,
Okay,
right?
I'm not. I'm not. I have no zero any connections to it, but I
Yeah.
guarantee it. That's happening right now.
The only thing that I would say that goes against that happening is Druckmann is a writer on this show. Because I actually paid attention to the opening credits. Like the story's done by Druckmann
Yeah,
and it's written by Druckmann. He co-writes it, I should say.
yeah,
So I can see him being like, look, it's a bit of a Lucas moment, right? And obviously,
yeah.
Druckmann isn't the only creator of The Last of Us. There are two of them that came
Uh-huh.
up with everything. But I can see him being like, we're gonna do this to maybe try and fix the reception of
Yeah.
XYZ plot point
Oh
from
yeah,
the second.
his redemption, right? Redemption
Yeah,
of,
he's
of,
going
of,
to try and do it that way and get people, because a lot of people are turned off the franchise and the games as a whole because of that. Like, you've
yeah.
had this
And I'm
conversation.
sure that's exactly what he was thinking when he walked in the door of that writing room. He's like,
Yeah,
my chance to kind of right the ship a little bit, right some
yeah.
wrongs.
So I'd be interested to see if a third Last of Us game would actually do as well as they'd hoped after the reception of the second one.
I
But
mean, without the show being anywhere in existence, probably not. But if
yeah,
you're including the show's existence, I think
so I
the
think this
show's
show's helped a
popularity.
lot. I think the
Yeah,
show's very much helped. It's reminded people why they like The Last of Us. It's like,
yeah. I
oh
mean,
yeah, part one is fantastic, story wise,
yeah,
gameplay
and I
wise.
think I think there's a way to make part two good too. Like without
Oh yeah,
drastically changing it, but changing some of the parts that he doesn't like. That's where that's kind of where the paradox like starts, because it's like, can what was his idea of changing it gonna be sufficient enough to right that
mm,
wrong that he thinks it is? Because I mean, it's like you said, it's the Lucas thing, right? Lucas was probably his
yeah.
worst enemy. Like his ADD kicked in probably. He's like, I can't do
I
this.
mean, it's an artist thing, right? You
Yeah,
get too
it's art.
close to something, you're never going to be happy with it. You got to step back, and Lucas never stepped. Well, he did step back eventually, but
Eventually,
it was only until it was too late and the thing was dead in the water. But
and he's like, I don't need this. I'm selling the
yeah,
I don't need this. Just give me $6 billion and be done with it. But yeah, I mean, I think like, I don't know. I think you can write the reception of part two with the show if he does it correctly. I mean,
mm,
like if he gets down and just does, I wouldn't want him to get so possessed by the idea of changing it, and that's why he's doing the show. Versus like,
oh
this
no,
is what I want to do.
yeah.
Like, do it for the right reasons, I guess. But like, that's
I say I
how
can't
good
see him
art.
changing it because they despite this, what, two scenes in this, this is the episode where I'm like, this should have been two, and this should have been 10 episodes long. This is the point where I feel like the budget might have been cut down to 9 episodes, and they had to put two together.
Yep, yep, yep. I
But
mean,
it's
it's a good place to put it, though.
I mean, yeah, it worked, right? Like,
you know,
obviously we're gonna see more of Tommy and like Maria and Jackson and all this, but it's
what,
just
what
like,
I love about the show is like, it's not overbearing with the clickers and all that stuff. It's like they know that those things are in the background somewhere.
yeah, yeah.
It's not like The
And
Walking
even
Dead
here,
where
they're like, yeah, there's it's all open. There's
yeah,
none around here. Like, if you see one coming, you can pop it from like a
pop
mile
it.
away.
But like, it's unlike The Walking Dead, where The Walking Dead just got kind of lost in the like, we need as many zombies as we possibly can in
Yeah.
one episode. I like the stripped down stuff of this
Mm.
of this show, because the clickers aren't really the problem if you think about it. It's more of the people that are trapped.
Yeah, as I say, it's. I
mean,
don't want to call it a zombie thing because apparently they don't like calling it a zombie thing either.
Of course,
Like,
you don't want to be, but it's hard.
It's like
not
they're a plot device, right? They're pure. They're an obstacle for everything, right? The main crux of any story like this, zombie or not, is wow, people do some messed up stuff.
Yeah. As much as that people think that they're the good people, when situations like this arise, they're the first people to kind of sell people out, to be safe, and it's not right or wrong, you're just, it's like preservation of life, survival of the fittest, people just do dirty things, it's like at this point in your life, it's not even a dirty thing, it's just surviving, like they are, that's how they rationalize it, like we're not doing
not even like the whole killing stuff either, right? Like, taking someone else's life in the situation, say what you will, but there's little bits like Maria cutting off contact between the two of them. I like that's a
but that's such a normal thing that happens every day.
It's normal, but like it's so scummy.
Oh, it is.
No, and you can tell that neither, like, Tommy doesn't like the fact that you can tell he's a little bit brainwashed. Obviously, him having a kid on the way isn't going to help that. Like,
it makes it worse, right?
That's a change. That's a change that's going to come around later on. But
I think. But I mean, that mirrors what happens in real life, like it, I mean, all this stuff happens every day to people, like you get in with a person she basically is a puppet, she's puppeteering Tommy into thinking what she wants, it's, but at the end of the day, is it right or wrong? I don't know. It's such a gray area,
not that I think she's doing it maliciously. Because knowing the character of Maria, I don't think it is. Maybe they could take it and make it malicious. I don't know at this point. God knows what change they're going to make there, but
it's like it's such a. I mean, you can do that now, but like you put yourself in the situation they're in right now. They rationalize it, They rationalize anything that happens bad, like, oh, I mean, even the person, I forgot her name, that was the antagonist of with Henry and stuff like that,
Oh, see, this is why last week I said she was a bad character. You can't even remember her name a week later.
But I mean, my point is like she.
I want to say it was like Karen, but I don't want to call her Karen. Is it Karen? She was a Karen. Don't get me wrong.
But I mean, like she's the opportunist, and she saw an opportunity to use people and to her benefit.
Kathleen. Her name was Kathleen. I was right with the K and the A.
It was a Karen, but it was Kathleen. But yeah, that's the brilliance of the show, right? It takes real life situations, it kind of amplifies it, like to the 20, it's.
Yeah, you got a spotlight showing like every dirty crack a person can have.
Yeah,
not literally, obviously. Obviously, in this world, I reckon there are a lot of dirty cracks, metaphorically and physically. But.
Physically, I mean, we're dealing with, I mean, the apocalypse. I mean,
you're gonna run out of TP eventually, right?
Yeah, you gotta wipe your butt with something, I guess. But that's the brilliance of the show. Is like it takes these normal everyday situations and just amplifies it to the nth degree. And like. I think the Maria thing is a great example of that. Like she's subtly, on the surface it seems like a scummy thing, but she's like on on the bottom of it, it's like I'm trying to keep these people safe. These are my family. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you never know. She could be just a scumbag too. So
I hope not, because I like Maria.
I don't know.
I like her.
I mean, yeah, And yeah, you can definitely tell Tommy's kind of resistant to that. Like he's like, I don't know, he's my brother, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's the happy wife, happy life, happy wife, happy
Yeah,
life. just
I mean,
remember
look,
this. He's not going to be around forever. Don't fall out with your wife.
yeah, I mean, she can't hit with child support, but she can definitely kick you out of Jackson for
Yeah,
sure.
it's true. Yeah, there's worse things.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's just the evolution of
But that'd be
character.
very uncommunist of her if she did that.
Yeah, like, hey man, you can live under the other house, okay? At the other end of the
We'll build you a shack over there. It's fine.
yeah, we're no longer married, but you can live
I'm
But
gonna live in
yeah,
this gated community though. You can go over
but
there. It's fine.
but I think the ending of this, well, not the ending. I think towards the end when Joel starts teaching, kind of opens up to Ellie and starts teaching her how to shoot, stuff like that. That was such a
I
nice
love
moment.
that. It's like, nah, the gun don't work. The sight itself, bang. It's like,
And then
no, you just can't aim. It's
and then
fine.
you pan out to the target and it says,
Yeah, a-hole, yeah.
yeah.
I love that.
But it's like you're starting to see the similarities of the game dynamic in the game. You're starting to see that
Mm.
open up more in the show. So, and
What
and
what I like about it is, the characterizations aren't like direct, right? Like
yeah,
in the game, Ellie was very much like, I'm here to save the world. I believe this.
yeah,
But in this, they've shaken that a little bit, obviously with Sam.
yeah,
Right, so she's not entirely convinced. She's not in the same place she was. Maybe she'll get there in a couple of episodes, but
yeah,
right now she's very much not in that mindset. But there's moments where when Bella Ramsey is like, she's got to do a happy scene as Ellie. It's like, yes, that is exactly the Ellie from the game. Like
yeah,
even that, like even outside of that, like she is still Ellie. Like she's
yeah.
very much spot on, but there are just some slight differences. But I always find that when she's like happy and the sarcastic, just like, yeah, they
That's the character.
nailed that from the game.
Yeah,
Pascal is
and
Joel. He's Joel from start to finish. He's been perfect
he's
throughout. Like
he's like transcended the character, to
yeah.
the point where it's like he is now Joel, and like, yeah, I mean, I have no attachments to the game, and I've watched cutscenes, and I've watched gameplay and stuff like that, but like, like from everything I've seen, it's like, yeah, I think they nailed it with Pascal, to the
Yeah. Yeah.
like to the wall, and but I mean, I just love that whole moment with them, where he is like smiling and happy and laughing and being
He likes
sarcastic with it.
contractors.
Yeah, yeah, we were the
I
favorite
love
people.
that bit. I love the fact they, not only did we have the hydroelectric plant in there, which is just a moment that's bored into my brain from that game. Like they pay homage to that. It's like, you could have told me, you could have lied to me, I'd believed it. And then he just
Yeah,
straight up lies. So, oh yeah, people thought contractors were cool. Everyone
the
liked the
great,
contract.
we were the greatest people. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like
I,
Joel.
I felt
Joel.
that just, I felt that was like not like up to that point he was always like pretty blunt and telling her the truth about everything, and then like he was like, no, 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 I'm loosened up, so I'm being
Yeah.
playful with her. It's like
It's
that.
like the diarrhea joke, right? It's just the cracks just getting bigger on the armor
Yeah.
for Joe.
It,
He's slowly crumbling apart.
and it I think that is gonna make the ending of this show more powerful. When
Oh,
if
I am terrified of how they're going to handle that ending.
like
Terrified.
I'm like if it all goes according to what the game is and stuff like that, I'm
Yeah, but that's what
sad.
I'm worried about.
Well, I'm sad to see. I'm sad to see him go, but I'm happy he was here. That's the thing. For me
Yeah.
is like, it's you can never like if they
To be
do
fair,
make.
I know everyone's probably already played it. Spoilers, by the way. Like no, it's
But I mean that's a powerful moment in the game too. Whether it worked or not with how it was executed, but like the moment that thing
oh,
happened.
I was more thinking you're talking about the
Oh,
end of the first game.
I mean, isn't.
Yeah, because that's the bit I'm worried about. Because not in the fact they can't do it
Oh, how they
right.
did it.
I'm worried about it coming off really goofy and over the top. Because of course the game kind of goes, "We're a video game, shoot, 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 shoot," and it's just like, oh,
Well,
okay,
I mean, I think this is the moment Druckmann's probably been trying to work to get to the point where he could figure out a way to probably change that to make it work or whatever, whatever redemption arc he has with that game, but I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, to this point.
They've got the benefit, but I just have this little niggle that I don't want them to go,
of
because
course.
the one big action set piece they've done in this show with the Sam and Henry episode, where you had the bloater come out the ground, fantastic. If you handle it like that, great. But that's a very different style of action scene to what the ending of the first game is, because it literally is just a shootout, right? And then I just don't want them to overdo it and be goofy. I don't think they will. Yeah. Because obviously, in the game, in the Sam and Henry bit, it was a turret on the truck, and that was changed. So I have faith, but I'm wary of it.
Of course.
I'm wary.
I mean, of course, you're always like in the back, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's going on in his head too. He's probably going, "Man, I hope I can make this work. I hope this doesn't get," because like it kind of all hinges on how this plays out, right? How the show kind of works. If it because there's a lot of shows that are great up into the end of the episode of last season, or that first season where it's such a great show, and then bam. That last 15 minutes or whatever, kind of, I don't want to say ruins it because, no,
but it ruins the experience, right? It's like Game of Thrones. Like you had all these years of these episodes people loved, and then all of a sudden, it's
something falls on somebody.
And it's like, is that it? Like, all this time we've been building to that, and you did it like that? Like, really? Okay.
I would say that Game of Thrones, like without seeing it, I've talked to people that have seen it, and they're very their disappointments of how it ended, and I think that's the more egregious thing, because you had 8 seasons to figure out how to stick the landing. I think this is
but seasons, episodes, you still
but with this show, he's had 1 season to figure out how to end it on a good note, on the note that he didn't have the last time, so I think he's
better be the same damn note is what I'm saying.
I mean, if it is, then there's going to be a lot of people saying the same thing. Oh, it's just such a great season after that last scene, I guarantee you
maybe
every review is going to be like, oh, it was such a great season, but then that last 15 minutes, that's what really turned me out, whatever it is, but But I mean, I'm gonna give it. I'm not gonna preemptively judge it. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. If it does it, man, fantastic. If it doesn't, then I got 7 good episodes to rewatch. And then
you'd have 8 good episodes to watch because it's 9 episodes long.
Oh yeah.
So even better.
Even better. There's always a light at the end of that tunnel, I guess.
Silver lining every cloud.
But yeah, I don't think I mean, up to this point, I don't think I have really major gripes about this show.
I could pick some stuff apart, but it's nothing. It's not major. Everything is fantastic.
I don't want to go and say it's a perfect show, because perfect is such I hate saying anything's perfect because it's just such a lie.
It's like, cool. Well, nothing can get better than this, so we're at the peak now.
Then you stop watching TV and movies because this is the pinnacle of it. But no, it's pretty close to that. I think it's very if you had to give it a rank this year for TV shows, it's up in my top 5 for sure. If not the top, so far. But it's
out of what I watched this year.
It's TV shows hard to rank because there's so much stuff going on, but but this show has definitely earned the top 5 in my ranking, because it's so far, it's been top 5. But
trying to think what new I'm catching up on a couple. I've got Succession on the go at the minute. I caught up on White Lotus at the start of the year. I think the only new show I've watched this year is Kaleidoscope.
Haven't seen it. I love Succession.
It's fantastic, Kaleidoscope. I highly recommend it.
There's a show on Apple which is pretty funny to me, that it's called Severance.
I've heard of that.
It's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting watch. Succession is definitely
unfortunate
my
that
top.
I'll never get Apple, so that's unfortunate.
I'm sure you can watch it on YouTube. I mean,
I'm sure I watch it somewhere. It's just, yeah. No,
but
I'm really enjoying Succession. I've
yeah,
literally just finished season 2, so
yeah,
I'm
me too.
getting caught up for season 4.
It's such a good show.
Mm,
It's like kind of an exercise in great writing. You know, like if you
yeah,
had to like do
yeah.
a master class, you know that this is probably in there. You know, it kind of surpasses by Breaking Bad in my opinion. You know, and I
Oh,
did.
that's
I
a.
mean, they're Breaking Bad again. Kind of I think overstayed its welcome in later
Oh
seasons.
no, don't no agree. Bad
Ah,
no, this
hard
can't
disagree,
no.
right? I'm not
Oh,
saying it was
very,
bad.
very,
I'm
very.
not saying it was bad. I love that show. I love the writing, but it's like there was a season or two that it was definitely a season that was kind of like it wasn't like
Next,
bad.
you're gonna
It was
tell me
just
The
like
Fly is a bad episode
oh
of
no,
that
it's a great
show.
episode. I love that
Good.
episode. It's like
We're about
pinnacle.
to have a fallout. I'll tell you.
No. Yeah, it was gonna be a breakup. It's no more. We're done.
I was doing the
Um,
Cavill thing for Mission Impossible, reloading the arms, just like these hands about to fly.
delete. You know, just get Jarrett in here for
Uh,
now. But
so I was about to say, it was nice to have Sean on, but I'll find someone else.
he's officially doesn't exist in my world anymore.
Mm.
No, I agree. Like the Fly episode was best episode in TV. You know, but
So
like
it's almost perfect television,
yeah,
almost.
but like I think Succession is good too. You know, like I think it's such a weird like. You know, it
The
reminds me
fact
of
that
everybody.
Culkin is in here, like,
Yeah.
I love Culkin.
Yeah.
He's
I
so
mean, he's
good.
such a great actor, man. Like it's funny to say that to know that his brothers and sisters are. I mean, Macaulay Culkin's great too.
I'm saying
But his
Macaulay, he hasn't got to work again. He can just coast. Like,
but like it like Rory McCulkin's like probably one of my favorite like actors. He's turning into like one of the best character actors of our time. You know, like
yeah.
um,
And see,
but,
I always think of Scott Pilgrim. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, it's the
yeah,
dude from Scott Pilgrim. And I always remember that he's Macaulay Culkin's brother. I'm just like, God damn.
brother, yeah.
And then I feel
Think
stupid because it's like you look at him and you go, yeah, of course you're Macaulay
you could
Culkin's brother.
definitely you see Macaulay Culkin, but like he's like one of my favorite characters on Succession too.
Yeah,
You know,
he's fantastic. He's
you know,
fantastic. I love him.
they're all such dirty rich people in the
Yeah.
show.
They are billionaire spawn. Like, that's what they
Yeah,
they
that's the
are
worst type of
exactly
people.
what you'd think they would be. Right.
But yeah, you know, like yeah, I liked White Lotus. White Lotus was fun.
I loved White Lotus. Awesome.
Yeah, such a great show, and like Jennifer Coolidge is like that's the breakout person in that show for me because it's like I mean she went from Stifler's mom to like probably another great character
Yeah.
actor, you know who would have thought
I mean, there was Stifler's mum. There was what's her face in Two Broke Girls.
Two
She was
Broke
in there as
Girls, yeah,
well. Where
you
she
know
played a horrendous like Polish stereotype. It's just like, ooh.
yeah, yeah.
And then she's out here doing the drama. She's still Jennifer Coolidge in White Lotus, but she
But
rocks that show.
yeah, I mean, like it's such a great show, like, and I haven't seen season 2 yet. I think isn't it out yet?
Oh, you haven't seen season 2 of White
Nah,
Lotus?
I haven't.
Man,
I'm definitely gonna start. I think I was gonna plan on starting it tonight. When the
get on
midgets,
it. It's
when the
so
midgets go to
good.
bed, because
It's
like
so good.
I've been kind of, and this might sound funny. I rewatched Reacher the last couple of nights
Never
because
seen it.
it's a great dude. It like don't let the stigmata of the stink that Tom Cruise put on that character, but like Alan Richardson is actually perfect for that role. Like and I have zero like attachments to that character, but like that show's really fun. It's fun. And he makes it fun. He's like a little quippy. Like I don't know. I would say watch a couple episodes, get a feel of it, if you like it.
I think I'm gonna end this here. Actually, that'd be 50 minutes, give or take.
Did I just say the A word?
I don't know which A word.
The ASS word.
I don't know, but I will go back and check.
Well, I made it really easy. It was at the very end of the episode.
Yeah,
so
I'll go back and check. Like, so I only ever really edit the start and the end of these things because most time it's just like cool that stuff and just throw it out there. So I'll check.
If you hear the conversation about Jack Reacher, that's where it really happened. I slipped out. Made it easy. Cool. I watermarked it for you, so.
I'll look for the spike in the audio. It's like that's the one. There
it is. But yeah.
Yeah, go watch all the shows we just talked about, and they're good stuff.
Back and say how we're wrong about those, and we'll have a discussion in the comments.
If anyone says Succession's a bad show, then I'm coming for it. And even White Lotus, like that's
an instant ban in my opinion. Like you cannot if you have the gall to say that that's a bad show, you don't deserve to be in the comments anymore. Block. No.
I thought it was something else, and I was like, that's getting edited out. But
I only had one word this week.
Also, watch Kaleidoscope. No one I know has watched Kaleidoscope, and it makes me sad. That show is so unique, and it's not a unique premise, but in how it delivers everything, I've never seen it been done before. It's
definitely
stunning.
Gonna watch it now. Like, because I was planning on rewatching some of the Orphan Black recently too. Like after, that's the other show that is like in my top 10. Like for
that's reasons. In my top 10 of all time. That Orphan Black, it hands down easily. That show was fantastic.
It's because top 10 was one.
If I don't end it now, I'm going to carry on talking about Orphan Black, and I'll never be able to get away.
We're gonna have another hour-long conversation about something that doesn't involve.
Just like this show, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, why is this here? It's not Last of Us." It's just like, shut up.
This is our job.
Talk what I talk about. Like,
this is our podcast.
Conversations deviate. It's how natural things flow.
Yeah.
Never trust a conversation that's over an hour long and is always on topic. That's my thing. Either that, I've just got undiagnosed ADHD. It's one of the two things, right?
Yeah.
What might be natural in my brain is not natural in someone else.
Well, the conversation was organic.
Exactly.
So you can take that up in the comments and we can have a discussion there. Organic like a bloated bumhole. Or a White Lotus.
Yeah. Who do you think's got the better cheeks, bloaters or MODOK?
MODOK.
100%, I agree. And on that, if you disagree with that, then you don't know good cheeks. Simple as that.
I don't want to touch fungus, but but and like MODOK's is irresistibly,
I bet MODOK's can clap, right? If that little hand thing that was holding him up just wiggling him about, you'd hear the little of the cheeks, right? That's what's going to happen.
It's what the Japanese call kawaii. It's very kawaii.
Yeah.
Very kawaii. And I made that a little too much sexualized, but like he does get a cute little touch though. He's right up there with Brad Pitt. So, anyways.
Anyway, we'll catch you next week for episode 7. So, goodbye.
Bye-bye.